Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Anello Grande show. Today we'll be talking about Tour de France, mountain biking. Let's just talk about this last week of the Tour de France. Boy, what a tour it's been. So it just finished up today. I don't know exactly what happened on today's stage. I left and had to do some errands today. Last I saw, they were still doing loops around the Champs-Élysées. I imagine it's going to come down to a sprint finish. My thought is Sagan may be up there to mix it up, but I don't think he's going to get it. It'll either be Cav or Greipel, with the favor going to Greipel. Although Cav could really want this. He's had his history on the Champs-Élysées of getting it, so he could get it. But overall winner was Chris Froome. But boy, what a good tour, because it wasn't so there's a lot of talk in the press and with fans that he's doping and that Team Sky is too dominant, and it has memories of old US Postal Service with fancy pants. So people are saying that that he's doping, they're doping. You know, the whole systemic thing with cycling. Personally, I don't see that, mainly because Sky hasn't been, they were dominant the first week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks. But going into this last week of the tour, they really, and I don't even want to say falter, because they didn't falter, but they did show signs that they were not the most strongest team out there. They, and especially on the stage 2, the last 2 stages, they definitely showed that they were not dominant as people say they were. So that leads me to conclude, you know, dominant team. Let's go back to US Postal Service back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they were the dominant team. Say somebody attacked Lance, if okay, case in point, Armstrong falls because of a spectator's musette. The people up ahead don't really realize what's going on. Ulrich sort of puts in an attack. This is if I remember it correctly. He sort of puts in an attack. Lance is pissed. He catches up to them and destroys the field. Obviously, his emotions get the better of him. He's all doped up on EPO and new blood and all that kind of stuff. And he just goes out and decimates the field. Chris Froome never had that type of performance. So say Nibali attacks, as he has a mechanical, he fights to get back on. If he were truly dominant, he would just stomp on them and catch Nibali and win that stage. Also, on the stage up to Alpe d'Huez, they had to play it safe and not try to catch and blow and then risk losing the whole tour. So he's basically, him and his 2 teammates are pacing up the mountain, hoping that they don't lose enough time to lose the yellow jersey. And then come to find out that they didn't even have communications with the team cars, and the team cars didn't have internet, so they were kind of going blind. But they were being conservative in that, okay, well, Quintana needs 2.5 minutes to win the Tour de France. We don't think, as long as we put in a steady, hard effort, that he's gonna get that. So, as opposed to the Lance Armstrong days where, oh, somebody's attacking, I am catching, I'm countering every single move, and not only am I countering it, but I am going to attack and go on the offensive afterwards. So that leads me to think that Froome and Sky are not doping. I could be wrong. You know, I very well am wrong. Who knows? They could be doped up to the gills and it's all an act and blah, blah, blah. But that's just not my take on it. Okay. I'm going to keep riding here a little bit, and I'll catch back up with you again later. So let's talk a little bit about mountain biking. I haven't been mountain biking very much this year. I race a whole lot, but it just seems as though this year, this summer, this season, I haven't been going out as much as normal. That being said, I'm hoping that I'm getting back into it now. Today's first mountain bike ride, probably in a month, 2 months. I'd say at least 6 weeks, if not longer. You know, just one of those things, you get busy with life, work, all kinds of other stuff, and you don't go out. Plus, I guess the weather in the early part of the summer played a big played a big part in that. But now that I have some things done with work and family stuff, I hope to be able to get out there more. But that being said, mountain biking, here I am out at Eastwood. First time I've been out here in a long time, and it looks like the trails are different. There's a construction zone happening over here on what I call the upper grassy field. All right, well, thanks for waiting for me. Let's get it in a slightly easier gear here. Well, I take a break here. So we're talking about mountain biking, and yeah, I haven't been mountain biking very much this year, blah blah blah. Quick tip for you guys that ride in areas that have a lot of poison ivy. Personally, I've had a couple of bad cases of poison ivy because of mountain biking. Either I'll stop on the side of the trail or just riding along and the trail has it and it brushes up against you. So two things about poison ivy. One is, if you can, clean it off as soon as possible. Meaning, if you drove somewhere, carry some disinfecting wipes in your car and a lot of water and even some soap, and as soon as you can, wipe down with the disinfecting wipes and then wash off with soap and water. Now, I've seen things on the internet about a mixture of, I don't know, soap and water and something else, but really soap and water is probably the best thing to do. Dawn is really good. You know, the thing that people have a reaction with is the oil on poison ivy. I think it's called urushiol, something like that. Dawn is a great oil breaking soap detergent that will cut through the oil and hopefully leave you clean. So you may think, oh, well, how do I dress correctly for poison ivy? Well, Eastwood, where I ride a lot, has a lot of poison ivy. So what I did was I bought some soccer or football socks that go pretty much all the way up to the knee, and I wear that anytime I'm out here. And so what that will do is, if I ride and come in contact with anything, I take the socks off when I get home and I wash them right away, and that'll be that. So that's my 2 tips for poison ivy. I guess the third tip is to know what it is, what to look for. You know, they say leaves of 3, leave them be. That's easy to say, but a little harder to notice. I'm going to try to see here. I think we have some poison ivy right here. So, I don't know if we can get this, but this plant right here, I believe that is poison ivy. You see how it has 3 leaves coming off of a stem. There's some more. And that it's kind of a viney looking thing. That, from what I know, is poison ivy. And so this is right on, that's at foot level, ankle level on the trail. And this is a very popular part of the trail. I'm sure there's some more very close by here. And so you kind of know what I'm talking about when I say you just be riding along, you don't even know that you've rubbed up against it and you have it. Know what it is, stay away from it, wear long socks. You know, you may look like a dork. Here's mine right now. Yeah, so you can see they pretty much go up to the knees. In fact, they're folded down just a little bit, but they could go all the way up. I believe they're soccer socks. They're great. Haven't had poison ivy on my legs since I started using them. Again, next best thing, as soon as I get home from a ride, throw them in the wash, take a shower. That way any of that poison ivy oil will come off and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for this week's Anello Grande show. Thanks for tuning in. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the blog, anello-grande.blogspot.com. And also, you know, for some fun things, check out Strava. I believe it's Strava groups or clubs slash Anello Grande. Or go to the blog and there'll be a link there. So I have a Strava club that sometimes we have some interesting discussions, and then we also have some challenges. If you're local to the Minnesota area, there may be some challenges involving riding certain routes. If not, we may have some other challenges later on, you know, who climbs the most in a week or something like that. No prizes as of yet, unless there's anybody out there that wants to sponsor a prize for a challenge. That would be great. If not, just connect with us on Strava. It's a fun thing to do. It's very low-key, laid back. We're not going to kill everyone for KOMs or be jerks to each other. So check it out. Again, look for more beer reviews coming up pretty soon. I'm planning a trip down to Decorah to check out Toppling Goliath. Hopefully have a beer review, pick up a growler or a 6-pack or whatever they have there. And I hope to review something from that here in the near future. In addition, I think I'll do a video review of Summit's, I can't think of the name of it, it's a red IPA. I had one the other day. From what I remember, it was really good, but I didn't actually review it, and so I'll be doing that pretty soon too. Okay, thanks a lot, and connect with me. Let me know what's going on with your rides and all that. Leave a comment below. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, guys, one last thing before I go. How in the world does Chris Froome not crash more often? Seriously, I give him credit, he's the winner of the Tour de France. He is probably an exceptional bike handling rider. In fact, I believe he came from a mountain bike background, racing for Kenya in the Olympics. But on the road, he's constantly looking at his stem. I know that there's memes and stuff, Chris Froome looking at his stem. Whatever, I'm not going to fault the guy for his riding style, except for the fact that if he's looking at his stem so much, how does he not crash? What kind of perception? Maybe he's like Spider-Man or something, and he has a spidey sense to tell him when things are happening. You know, or even how does he respond to attacks? If he's looking at his stem all the time, you know, how does he see what's going on up ahead? But so that was my final thought for today. Chris Froome, if you see this, give a comment or a video response or whatever, and let me know, how do you keep riding and not crash while looking at your stem.